Welcome to 13 Minutes of News. In 13 minutes, or less. I don't know what I'm doing, guys. I'm trying to find it. When it hits, it'll hit. But I don't edit these, so here we go. First of all, you guys, why am I wearing the Dumpling shirt? Because my Dumpling store is up. It goes live on the 18th because I'm just waiting for my card at this point. Took me forever to get the profile set up. Even the little things like naming it, which wasn't even that creative. It's called Shop with Steve. But I got it going because I was having such trouble doing it. So I'm getting the name and all that too dialed. So I needed to get it going. And I've had some time this week being that I've been sick. So, Project Dumpling, 18th. That's this coming Friday. And I should be starting to have some content on Dumpling going up. So, I'll tell you how it's going. I'll tell you the pricing models that I've done and what might change and the options that I'm giving people. And I'll walk through all of it. If you have questions, great. And for you Instacart shoppers, I challenge all of you to watch it and ask me questions. I'll even find a way to do a live. I'll even find a way to bring Joel back in for another live. And maybe Celeste, and maybe Suze, and maybe Matthew Tells. I'll bring the whole gang. So stay tuned. Also, Paraworks, sponsoring Rideshare Rodeo podcast brand right now. And we've been working together since day one, you guys, so stay tuned. Big things coming, big things coming. But let's jump into the news, okay? This week on the roundtable, Kim brought in a story, and it's very important that we talk about this, but I also want to point out that the titles of this story don't really, it bothers me that the news had to title it the way that they did instead, because it buried the bigger point here. So the title of the stories that are running are somewhere along the lines of Lyft passenger jumps from ride. Now, of course, that's, here in YouTube, some of us might call that clickbait if it's not actually what happened. But as I'll tell you, it did happen. But there's a bigger story here, and it's sad that that isn't what they title it. And that wouldn't, even for the newspaper who cares about the keywording, that it wouldn't be big enough to grab on that matter. And here's what I mean. So here's the story goes that girl is in girl's in a Lyft in North Carolina. Car smells like smoke. The driver pulls out something, sprays it into the air. To the best guess I can have from what I've read, we've discussed it. I've discussed it with a couple of people. My guess is it was Ozium or something to that effect that is just beyond strong when it comes out. Like if you ever used Ozium in your car, you understand. Like for me, I've had to use Ozium if somebody really came in smelling bad or something when I was doing rideshare, and I'd have to really, but I'd always get out of the car if I sprayed Ozium in there because it was just too much of a burst. So anyway, the car smells like smoke. The girl there's some things going on. And she's a little weirded out, the smoke smell, everything. I guess the guy maybe had been asking some questions that were making her feel uncomfortable. I don't know how out of line they were. But he sprays the Ozium. She freaks out and she jumps out of the moving Lyft. Okay? Horrible story, right? Now, she lives, but she... it wasn't, she jumped out of a moving car because of this person spraying this. But here's the bigger story. She's 17 years old, you guys. I don't know how many times we need to discuss this. And in fact, on the radio show last night, we discussed it again. And people are always shocked. I don't get it. I know, I mean, if you're doing delivery and you're a gig worker, and you've never done rideshare, because a few people have said this to me, I've never done rideshare, so I don't know that. But all these people have kids, so it concerns me, you guys. Know this. Know this, know this, know this. Anybody tells you different, I will point them my direction. I would love to have a one-on-one live with them, and because there is no two ways around this. No unaccompanied minors under 18 years old, and them telling you they are 18 years old is not good enough. You are an independent contractor. That is your vehicle. When you get to a pickup location, if you decide to take somebody who you're questioning their age, make them show ID. If you don't feel certain that you can match up that ID to them, cancel the ride. It's simple. You know, the rule of thumb is when in doubt, cancel. I'll tell you this, with minors, cancel, because everything else, it can be a challenge to get Uber and your insurance to make sure that they seamlessly take care of things quickly. However, minors, forget about it. Uber, Lyft, they exit the picture if you have a minor in the car. Your insurance exits the picture no matter what insurance you have. I had somebody trying to debate me that their commercial insurance would cover it. And even that, no. No. There isn't one. You cannot be giving rides to minors that are not unaccompanied minors without somebody 18 or older in the car. Period. Okay? Period. If you do, all the insurances walk away from you. And if anything happens, like in this case, let me just present this. Where do you think the driver now stands with all of this, or when it's all said and done? Because here's the deal. Both insurances are walking away. If the family's going to sue, all this, that, and the other, guess what? This was like a $6, $7, $8 ride. Okay, it's going to sound way over the top, but it's true. His life is wrecked. He will owe for the rest of his life, because most likely, I don't know how many of you are familiar with this stuff, but in 2017, 18, when a lot of minors were riding, even into 19, it started to clear up before the pandemic. Now it seems to be going back, but when this was happening to other drivers, most of these lawsuits that were happening were multi-million-dollar lawsuits, meaning you're going to owe it for the rest of your life. So, not worth it. Not worth it. And I feel good in my carding ability. So I've worked in a bar long enough years where I feel good that I can card somebody. But even if I'm in doubt, cancel. Also, Waymo. We got to talk about this. So Waymo is about to start charging for autonomous rides in California. Okay. Well, that led to another rabbit hole that Waymo is already operating. Starting this week, starting Thursday, 2 days ago, in Tempe, Arizona, which is an area of Phoenix in Maricopa County, Arizona, you can get a fully autonomous Waymo without a driver in the car. You just simply download the app and you can now do it. You download the Waymo app, you can do it. Now, I'm going to be following this to a T, because I think there's already some issues. I think Maricopa County, I'm very suspicious of you, Maricopa County. And if you know me and you know some of the people I work with, I'm going to be digging deep here, because it seems like all the autonomous companies, that follow the money stuff, it seems like they all, even though they're in Silicon Valley and other areas and cities that, they have a couple cars in San Francisco, but they don't have passengers without drivers up front, Las Vegas, Austin. But Maricopa County seems to always be involved with the levels of testing that no other place is. And there's got to be a reason to that. But we'll get into that, because I'm gonna be digging deep. But anyway, here they go. They're gonna try it. I mean, these are faulty cars. They're very expensive, and we'll see. That said, I need to also note that Argo AI, who had been working with General Motors on autonomous, has fully ended level 5 testing, because they said we are still decades out from fully autonomous. which is when I discuss it that way, I mean comes to your location, picks you up, takes you to wherever you're going. So I guess GM thought Argo was more advanced than it was. And, through the discovery period, they kind of were like, well, wait a minute, you're really not there yet. So we're back at like level 4, which is more like what we already know from vehicles, like if you're going off the road, it'll pull you back. Like those kind of features that are just helpful autonomous. So not full autonomous. And the last story I want to hit on today, you guys. So these Wing drones. So Wing is a is a baby company to Alphabet. Okay, Alphabet has ties to Waymo, Google, so it's funny how all of the world intertwines. But anyway, Wing drones. They are now in Australia. They go up to 70 miles an hour, and they're delivering food. Okay, now it says that it can get you your food in 15 minutes or under. The delivery people are already upset about this over there, and it's already becoming the deal. But here's my thing. The biggest takeaway I had from the Wing drone story was, first of all, I know that the airports over there are having big issues with the fact that they don't like these drones going anywhere near them. We've always known a lot, once you add more and more drones to the sky, this can become a big, big problem. And then, but the biggest issue, let's forget about anything related to how I feel about the drones themselves. The biggest issue I see with what they've rolled out is that the drones can only carry 2.5 pounds of a delivery. So, it's, if you had McDonald's with 2 drinks, and I don't even think you could have 2 meals with drinks from McDonald's delivered. I think that would go over that weight. So that's their top out too. Their top out that the bag can carry. It doesn't matter the speed. That's just the top out that they can do. So we'll be following that too. But again, you guys, everything can be found at where? RideshareRodeo.com. That's right. Okay, guys, stay tuned. Peace!